Okay, this question says Pedro and Stephanie are each taking a 283-kilometer trip. Now, Pedro's driving a car that uses 8 liters of gas per 100 kilometers. So, for every 100 kilometers he travels, his car uses 8 liters of gas. Stephanie drives a truck that uses 13 liters of gas for every 100 kilometers. The question says if gas costs $1.20 per liter, how much more will it cost Stephanie than Pedro to drive the 283 kilometers? Okay, so this is this question has a lot of information. So let's break it down. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to separate Pedro and Stephanie because each of them has different information. So Pedro's driving a car and Stephanie's driving a truck. In Pedro's car, it uses 8 liters of gas for every 100 kilometers. In Stephanie's truck, she uses 13 liters of gas for every 100 kilometers because she's driving a truck, so she's using more gas. Well, we want to figure out what is the rate per 1 kilometer, okay? So how many liters of gas is Pedro's car using for every 1 kilometer? Let's figure that out first, okay? This is one way to do it. So if you remember how to find unit rate, you take the 8 liters, and I would divide the kilometers by 100 because that would give me 1 kilometer, right? I'm trying to figure out what it is for 1 kilometer. So I'm going to take the 8 and I'm going to divide it by 100. So what you're really doing here is 8 over 100, correct? Now that's equal to 0.08 liters for every kilometer, okay? This is per 100 kilometers, so we're dividing. So we're going to do the same thing here. I want to know what it is for 1 kilometer. So 100 divided by 100 is 1. So I'm reducing that to 1, which means I have to divide this by 100 as well. And if we look at this way, 13 out of 100, 13 liters for every 100 kilometers. 13 divided by 100 is equal to 0.13 liters. Okay, so this information will help us. We know that he's using 0.08 liters for every kilometer, and Stephanie's using 0.13 liters for every kilometer. Now, we have some other information here. We're told that gas costs $1.20 per liter, okay? So we want to figure out how much will it cost for gas per kilometer. Okay, well, we're going to use this information. We know that he's using 0.08 liters for every 1 kilometer. If the gas costs $1.20 per liter, let's multiply this by $1.20 so we can figure out how much is he spending for every 1 kilometer, because this is what he's using per kilometer. Okay, so 0.08 times 1.2 is equal to 0.096 cents. So he is spending 0.096 cents per kilometer. Does that make sense? This is the cost now per kilometer because this is how many liters he's using per kilometer, and this is how much it costs for 1 liter. Okay, so let's do the same thing over here. Stephanie is using 0.13 liters for every kilometer, so let's figure out the cost. 0.13 times $1.20 because that's how much it costs per 1 liter. That's equal to, when we calculate this, we get 0.156, which means she is spending 0.156 cents on gas per kilometer. Now the question, let's go back to the question. It says, if this is the cost of gas, how much more, so I already know that she's going to spend more, will it cost Stephanie than Pedro if they are driving 283 kilometers? This is the most important part here, and this is what we were told at the beginning. Their trip is each taking them 283 kilometers. Well, we know that they're spending this amount for 1 kilometer, right? And she's spending this amount per 1 kilometer. We can already see that she's spending more, right? I want to know how much are they spending for 283 kilometers. So I would have to multiply this by 283 to figure out what it is for 283 kilometers, which means we have to take this 0.096 and multiply it by 283 to get the rate. So 0.096 times 283 is 27.168. So I'm going to round that off to the nearest penny. 17. Okay, so it's $27.17. And we're going to do the same thing here. Instead of figuring out for 1 kilometer, we're going to figure out what it is for 283 kilometers, because that's the rate we want to know. So if I multiply that by 283, I have to multiply 0.156 times 283, and if I calculate that, I get $44.15. So Stephanie's spending $44.15 on gas for a trip where she's traveling 283 kilometers. Pedro's spending $27.17 on gas for a trip that is he's taking that is 283 kilometers. But the question says, how much more will Stephanie cost? So how do we figure out the difference? We're going to take the amount that Stephanie's spending, $44.15, and the amount that Pedro's spending. I want to know how much more Stephanie is spending. So we're going to subtract. And if we do 44.15, take away $27.17, we get $16.98. So the answer is that it will cost Stephanie $16.98 more in gas than Pedro. And that's the final answer. Hope that helped.